What I really want to see is I was about to say an Ant-Man movie, but then I just forget that. I've always talked about how I want to see a Flash movie, just because I think that that's always the kind of character that we have the technology to do. Like, people know who the Flash is, and we've seen in Smallville and other shows that you can do the speed idea. So,
Have you seen the TV show?
Yes.
I thought that was a decent attempt at the character.
Yeah.
I mean, so you could do him that, but who would be the villain?
I'd actually bring straight into the Rogues, just because the Flash doesn't have an immense amount of villains, and a lot of the villains, people are all like, oh, they're too silly. So I think bringing in the Rogues and making them a little darker but still fun would be a smart idea.
Who are the Rogues, exactly? I know
the Rogues are basically a bunch of the Flash's villains. They've been updated since Flash got reborn and everything. It's basically a bunch of like ragtag villains that won't take drugs, that won't kill people. They basically do what they do for fun. But
I know of a couple of villains. Captain Cold, Trickster. I know those are two of his villains. Boomerang, Captain Boomerang.
He's awesome.
Yeah, are they all part of the Rogues or no?
Yeah, they're all part of the Rogues. The thing is, the biggest thing about the Rogues that happened like the last 5 years is that they swore never to kill the Flash or any of the Flashes, because then, it wouldn't be fun anymore. They just wouldn't have anything to do anymore. And they actually ended up killing the third or the fourth Flash, who was Bart Allen, and they were all depressed over that.
That's interesting. I don't know, I want to see a Flash movie, but I want to see it because I want to see every comic book movie that's ever made, except for the ones that don't exist. Yeah.
I can't believe we just talked about, we just, grazed over Elektra and stuff like that.
Well, that doesn't exist, does it?
No, I mean, I don't think it does.
Okay, so that's why we grazed over it, because it...
Wait, what's that? Justin Bieber was just fired? Okay.
Yeah. Yes. What were you talking about?
Before what?
Justin Bieber just fired.
No, because Elektra doesn't exist, and so doesn't Catwoman, and so does that other Batman movie. It must make logical sense that Justin Bieber was fired.
Okay. Yeah.
He got shot with lightning, whatever word.
Yes. Okay. So you want to see a Flash movie? I want to see a Witchblade movie.
Yeah, I haven't. I probably just grazed over some Witchblade stuff when I went to Comic-Con. From what I hear about it, and I've heard a lot about it, it could make a good movie, and it would attract a lot of the fans from just other things like fantasy and stuff like that.
I think it would make an excellent movie. They made a TV show based on it, which if you ever get around to watching the TV show, it's good. It's actually
called?
What?
Is it called Witchblade?
It is called Witchblade. It was on TNT. It had 26 episodes, 2 seasons. And the thing that they had to change was they had to change the armor.
Oh, okay.
When she's fully armored, she's wearing like gothic armor from from Knight's Time.
Yeah.
Instead of wearing something that looks like a bikini from Hell.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah. But it works because the fact is, first of all, this is on TNT. It was not on HBO, so you can't have the bikini from Hell. And second of all is the character of Witchblade is actually a very good character, and she can be translated into film because, like, her first story arc, like, what do you know about Witchblade?
Not a lot. I only know of the character's name, and she has an armor, and she does fantasy stuff.
Well, really quickly, the story of the character is that basically she's a detective.
Yeah?
This billionaire guy is like pawning off, so she goes to investigate this theater, and when she goes into it, she gets in the scuffle, and her partner gets shot, and I believe she gets shot too. But she gets an artifact that binds to her hand, and you soon find out that basically there's one person that's meant to wear the Witchblade every generation, and this generation is Sarah Pazzini, and basically it binds to her, and it basically after she gets shot, it heals her. Throughout the comic book, basically, it's kind of talking about it kind of grows on how she's meant for the Witchblade, and the only thing that is that you don't really have villains that much. Like, you have villains and you have stories of fights, but it's very serialized where fights don't come that often. And my biggest problem with it, and if they ever did a movie, is that it's kind of like the X-Files meets NYPD Blue, if you can kind of imagine that.
Yeah.
And I would want them to actually have more structured cases in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But other than that, I think it would work, and I think it would make a great film. What's your next?
What's my next thing?
Yeah, what's the next comic book movie you want to turn? We'll go through a couple of them.
I mean, I don't have a whole lot of it. I mean, the logical one that I've always kind of been talking about is the Atom, just because, he's not a really well-known character, and you might have to introduce him in another movie, like a Justice League movie. But the thing about the Atom is, he's basically Reed Richards to the DC Universe. And yes, he shrinks and stuff like that, but he's a really fun character. Like, he has all these different, scientific stuff, and he doesn't have a lot of good villains, so I guess you could borrow some of the Flash's villains or whatever. But I don't know, he's just a really fun character.
Is Spider-Girl, which I don't think she'll ever get a movie or a TV show, but I can hope.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Girl, you could just... I mean, they gave Supergirl a movie in the 80s. I'm sure they would do a Spider-Girl movie.
Well, she is the most popular of the Marvel 2 characters, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's true.
That's not saying much, but...
They're ending that line now.
Permanently?
I don't think permanently, but they're calling it, Spider-Girl the End, and then they said, yes, we're bringing an end to the line. I'm like, really? You're not.
Yeah, but, yeah, I definitely want to see a Spider-Girl movie. I don't know, they have so many movies they can make, and, ultimately, yeah, just make good ones.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I have to say. I mean, I don't know, I've been really talking about Thor, Green Lantern, all these movies, and I really just want to go to the movie and really be, walk out really happy,